You know, you can't just ignore people's criticisms of the border and chalk it up to MAGA messaging. I'll never forget when MSNBC did that to me. And MSNBC did that to me.
So the left calls it MAGA messaging anytime someone uses common sense or tells uncomfortable truths. That's what they call it. It makes no sense. This isn't politics, it's reality. Americans are tired of chaos, crime, and unchecked borders. Watch. Charlemagne blasts an MSNBC host for framing him as MAGA. Take a look at this.
What I think Democrats would challenge you on is that the Republicans fell in line behind a felon and a guy who bragged about grabbing women wherever he wanted to because he was a celebrity. And the Democrats are trying to deal with the asymmetry of the political moment. How do you respond to that?
I agree with you, but here's the thing. Clearly, the American people didn't care about any of that because the American people were just focused on, you know, the ideas that he was spewing. And it wasn't even just ideas. It was just, you know, stating the obvious and pointing out a lot of things that Democrats may have been ignoring, like the border. You know, like the economy. He said it himself, man, we won on one word, groceries. And, you know, you can't tout things like Bidenomics when people aren't feeling that in their pockets. You know, you can't just ignore people's criticisms of the border and chalk it up to MAGA messaging. I'll never forget when MSNBC did that to me. And MSNBC did that to me.
For some reason or another, MSNBC, the Democrat Party, Hakeem Jeffries, Jasmine Crockett, I mean, the whole crew, they don't get it. They're still talking about that silly moment where President Trump said in private with someone, a locker room joke of what he would do. Was it appropriate? No. Did he do it? No. In the moment, to him, was it humorous and just locker room talk? Yes. But did the guy actually do it? No, he didn't grab the woman by anything. I mean, he didn't do it. When he met with her, he was very courteous, very kind, very presidential, very polished, but he didn't do it. But instead of talking about what's really moved the needle with Americans, making sure we get far away from Bidenomics and actually being able to realize some true revenue being placed into our pockets, finding ways to reduce the tax burden upon American people, putting more money in our pockets so that we can put more food on our tables, so that people don't have to decide whether or not they're going to eat today or not. And this is why this shutdown has to come to an end, because the Democrat Party is losing their minds. They have pet projects. They want to push Molech-ism and false idolatry through the abortion industry. They want more of that. They want to make it easy for our minors to lose their mind with this trans insanity. But Charlemagne didn't endorse Trump. He spoke the truth about how Americans feel under Biden's border crisis. And regardless of how you feel, you, about what President Trump is doing with ICE, it's bringing safety and law and order back to America. That's important. Now, if you're watching this right now, do me a big favor and like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Back to it. It's bringing law and order and safety back to the U.S. Even with him deploying the National Guard. Some people are angry about that. Some people think that he's trying to pick on black people. I don't feel that way. If he's going to make a city safe where predominantly black people reside, I'm black. Do you not think I'm going to celebrate that? For any black person to be upset with that, man, you are out of your mind. You're lying. You're lying. You are having what is called selective outrage. You should want your communities to be safe. You should want the streets to be safe for grandmothers and for your children, for your wife to walk the streets safely. You should want that. And so the left calls it MAGA messaging anytime someone uses common sense or tells uncomfortable truths. That's what they call it. It makes no sense. This isn't politics, it's reality. Americans are tired of chaos, crime, and unchecked borders. Watch.
First off, me listening to people in New York City, listening to people in Chicago, activists in Chicago, and them telling me what their issues with the border were. And their issues weren't based on any type of prejudice for who was coming across the border. It was literally economics. It was, hey, these people are coming across the border and getting more resources than we are. Like, we've been sitting here in these poor and disenfranchised neighborhoods for years, and we have problems with housing, but they're getting housing. And, you know, we barely can make ends meet, but they're getting, you know, stipends to be able to go out there and get food and things like that. How do you not listen to those people when they're having those conversations? And I remember me repeating exactly what I just said based off the conversations I was having with people actually in the street in these areas. And MSNBC said I was repeating MAGA messaging. I was like, damn, that means that y'all really are not paying attention to y'all constituents.
See, and really what MSNBC was saying is, black boy, you're getting out of your place. That's what they're saying. They're saying, black man, you're talking too much. They're saying something else that I really can't say because we're on YouTube, but they're telling him you don't go too far inward. We ain't gonna let you talk like that on this platform. That's what they're saying. MAGA messaging. Just because he's spewing common sense, it's now MAGA messaging. So MAGA messaging is everything that makes sense. Okay, I got it. I got it. You see, when we consider Biden's border failure, we have to keep in mind that since 2021, over 6.7 million illegal immigrants have entered the U.S., more than the population of 36 entire states. Let that sink in. Border Patrol has reported 11 million encounters under Biden, the highest in U.S. history. The U.S. now has an estimated 14 million total undocumented residents, up sharply since Biden took office. And so all of these things, my friends, you have to keep in mind. These things matter, and Americans cared about that. That's why they voted the way that they did in the past election. MSNBC tried to twist Charlemagne's words, framing him as a pro-Trump supporter for simply reporting the truth. This is how the media operates. Deflect from Democrat failures by demonizing people who use MAGA messaging. So if I say that we should protect children in the classroom and we shouldn't allow certain people to come into the classroom and read unwholesome books to them, you know what people are going to say? They are going to say that I'm using MAGA messaging. If I say that I want to secure the border and protect America so that she might remain a sovereign country, that's MAGA messaging. If I say that God created us male and female, they won't say that's biblical. They won't say that's Genesis chapter 1. They'll say that's MAGA messaging. If I say that we need to provide universal school choice so that we can stop paying twice. I have to pay twice. I pay for 3 kids to go to a private school and for 3 children to go to a public school through my property taxes. But when I say that, and that we need universal school choice, and that I'm a staunch supporter for school choice, that's MAGA messaging. If I say that we never need to go through a period again where we have people like lying Ouchie Fauci telling us how much we can breathe, whether or not to wear diapers around our face. If I say that that is asinine and I'm never going to do it again, here we go again with the MAGA messaging. And so this is what Americans really feel. Voters of all backgrounds, Black, Hispanic, white, you name it, and working class Americans are fed up with the lawlessness at the border. It's not hate to demand secure borders and legal immigration. Americans want safety, fairness, and leadership, not slogans and spin. Let me know what you think below, my friends, in the comment section. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I weak or am I strong? Do me a big favor, like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. We're on our way to 80,000 subscribers, and the next stop is 100,000. Thank you for joining in on the ride. Thank you for tuning in week after week after week. Listen, doing a YouTube channel is laborious. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you.